Oh, didn't see you there. Welcome to Dave's World. I'm going to glue up these two pieces of mahogany and I'll show you what we have once I get it clamped up. This is going to be quite the exotic guitar, and it has an exotic heritage behind it already. So let's get started. I kind of want it to be like exotic underneath, and you don't really know. So we're using African mahogany, which is like pretty sweet. It cuts really nice on the saw and everything. We're gonna have to drill the holes and then do all the routing, so we'll take our time. These are quarter sawn maple. So 5/4 sawn maple is pretty much like what they use at like the Fender Custom Shop. So we have three nice pieces. Two of them are spoken for already for future guitars. So we only have one piece left. So if anybody wants it, there is the email in the description. But these two will be already spoken for. So now's a good time to give a shout out to our VOTEC teacher from high school years ago, Mr. G. He taught me how to stay safe. That's why we can play guitar and make them. These two-way adjustable truss rods are a little bit tough to install, especially at the heel. For this, I just kind of do each one at a time. And I really like these modern two-way truss rods. They're really nice.
Yeah, once you put this in, it's kind of a done deal.
This is how we spread glue here in Dave's World. Our truss rod in, and our ebony board on, and all our clamps. The headstock's a little long, unless we do like a Firebird or something. We're not doing a Firebird, don't worry. These clamps, I love these clamps. So you could just get them so perfect with even pressure all the way throughout. They're a little bit tougher to use than just like the turn and burn, slam it, kind of crush it down sort of thing that like everybody else uses. This is the old school way, and it's a lot of fun tightening those clamps. Just an enjoyable process. So we have our square edge we're working off of, and I mark the scale length out. But now we're gonna just get these fret slots started. Now it's actually starting to really look like a guitar neck. This thing is sweet. This quarter sawn maple looks great. It's a little bit wider than it's gonna end up being, and obviously a lot squarer. We're gonna make this less square by carving away at it, but first we'll get our final size down and put our dots in. Black ebony and white quarter sawn maple. This is going to be a really cool looking guitar. I think it'll be really sharp, especially once we get the hardware on. We're going to drill our dots tonight with our favorite tool. Ordered these perloid dots. They came in a bag. We need 10 dots. Exactly 10 dots. You have to have just the right amount of glue. If it's too much, it goes all over, but obviously if it's too little, well, then it's not enough. They're so small, I mean, it's pathetic, but to put each one in by hand, man, it's tough. Bit of glue on my finger, just enough to hold the little round dot. And then I just kind of place them on here real slow. Pretty critical, because if they don't go in straight, I mean, they look terrible. So success, we have our side dots all in and our front. So we'll let this dry. Coming along really well. This is going to be a really cool one because it's made to look, well, it's made to be the same color as the Corvette Stingray, which is freaking awesome. Once again, a little blocky on the back of the neck. We'll fix that, but really cool. This one, like I say, it's going to be sharp. The ebony and the quarter sawn maple are really cool. And well, the paint color is going to be really cool too. Actually, in general, the whole thing will be cool, but I just love the ebony board. So now we can radius it. After radiusing this board, it looks like I changed oil. We didn't. So we're really lucky to have the sales that we have had and the awesome customers. This guitar will be local to Dave's World. It's not going to be very far from our home. They're pretty rare around here. Our Lehr guitars are actually all over the country and world. We're going to go and visit one, though. We're going to take a little field trip tonight. We're going to go out to the gig, not my gig, but our first customer's gig. And we're going to see our serial number 1 guitar, the Red Raspberry. This is our Red Raspberry, totally in action. This is our second husband and wife pair that have our guitar. This is me and Stephanie, and I'm gonna go check out the Red Raspberry. So this is it, serial number 1. It is literally cowgirl pink, and it's in 3-piece alder body, maple neck. We did like a really figured maple on it, but you know, it's pretty just straightforward, but it's just, you know, our first guitar and our first custom order. So really cool to come out and see these. I've only seen 3 of our guitars in person out in the wild, so it's really cool. So definitely neat seeing Stephanie the other night. That is our serial number 1, the Red Raspberry, but it is cowgirl pink, so it was pretty cool to see it. Like I say, there's only been like 3 in the wild that I've really seen out of all of these guitars we've sent out. So really great reviews, but it's just hard to actually get to see them in person, which was cool. So we're going to do the finishing touches on our fretboard and continue on this one. Be a 12-inch radius with the large fret wire. We have our binding wrapped on here. We'll leave this dry overnight and sand in the morning. When I used to work in the cabinet shops for 13 and a half years, sanding was never my favorite thing, but now it is. This is extremely fun. Time consuming it is, the more I enjoy it. I don't know, it's kind of fun. So yet another custom Lehr guitar off to the spray shop. We have it final sanded and shaped and everything. So we'll head over there and hit it up with sealer. This is gonna get a super special paint. So we are gonna hook up our sealer now. I guess it's time that I just kind of, I guess it's time that I just give you guys the explanation as to why I am the way I am. I sprayed materials, paints in a cabinet shop for 13 and a half years. I've sprayed thousands upon thousands upon thousands of gallons of all types of materials, and I made every type of piece of wood look like everything. And I don't know if I'm proud of that. I think I've fried my brain with the paint fumes, but we're gonna fry our brains a little bit more. This will be a special color to match the Corvette Stingray in classic GM Arctic White. Used every spray gun ever. We're going back to the best of the best, the Binks 2100 series siphon feed, which I find works actually really well with lacquer because it atomizes so well. But this is fun. Spraying this kind of stuff is fun. Lacquer is such an enjoyable process to lay it on coat after coat. Just working in those industrial settings and doing like 2K urethane and all those like vinyls and conversion varnish and everything like that. It's just,
it's just not fun. This is fun. So we'll hook up our sealer now. We will hit the body and neck and let it dry, and then we'll come in and do our pour filling, sanding, and then we'll start laying on our white. So this is our white grain filler. I do this over the sealer coat in between one of the coats. This is a pretty solid way of going about it, and it really makes it look good. But you have to let it dry for a really long time, and that's what we've done. So at this point, we're clear coating it, and it's actually looking really good, our binding and everything. I'm going to scuff this with like a real fine grit, and we'll clear coat it a few more times. Tape off here. I like to let our lacquer dry for like 2 weeks after I spray them. You can scuff them and wet sand them before that and buff them, but it just doesn't go as well. They just sand a lot nicer when it really hardens. Also, the finish kind of sinks into the grain really good, and it just sands out nicer when you give it a little bit of time. So pulling off our tape, I'm going to do the frets and just sand everything, check everything out, do our fret ends, and then we'll start wet sanding and buffing. This is our super tool. I just kind of use this on the edges of the frets to kind of get them rolled a little bit and make it feel really good. This is something I bought like 1,000,000 years ago, and it's from like StuMac, but I just call it like the super tool. This takes forever, and I love it. It is so much fun. I'm just kind of rounding our fret edges to make it perfect. So feel really good when we're playing it. So I filed down our frets. Actually, not with this file. I used the super duper ones, but finished up with those. We're gonna do the crowning now and the edges. Make it really nice, and then we can start buffing them and wet sanding and buffing the whole guitar. Like this fret here is got a little bit of a rounded edge to it, making it real soft on your hands. This one is like rough and raw still, so we kind of just go at our edge with this little file and get it right. Our close-up camera work is pretty tough to pull off. It's like Easter. There are all these little individually wrapped, multicolored items. Tyro Sanchez strikes again. This is a custom set, so it's a Telecaster bridge with a Strat neck pickup. And I told him just to do whatever he wants, so it's completely unique, and the specs are totally individual to this guitar. So it's a little hard to see, but we'll go with the glare and our pen line. This will get us our pick guard. Nice new blade on here just for cutting pick guards. Our knobs and everything attached. We'll use our color matched wire as always, and get this wired up with our sweet setup here. So this one's 24, the Stingray. And the ebony board, I think, with the custom wound pickups and the mahogany body, give it a really nice full sound, but it's very versatile. Bridge pickup's very honky tonk. Tone control off and get like the classic rock sort of like, I guess that would be like
bite, but it would still stand up in a band. Sometimes the single coils can kind of get weak and sort of lost. Not this one. I love like the solo, it like really rips. It's hilarious. So the neck pickup is very rock and roll as well, really stratty. Especially like down here, it has a lot of character on like the low strings. A lot of power when you hit those chords, but the single notes. A lot of sustain, a lot of bite, a lot of character, but still a fullness to it. The in-between, though, is always so special when we get these crazy pickups and match them together. This is a lot of fun. It's got a lot of... there's a lot to the note dynamic on these. Roll down the tone. I guess it is the Corvette guitar, so it was like my favorite song when I was 16. That's I Can't Drive 55. Do you remember? And I think like the guitar parts. Yeah, one foot on the brake and one on the gas. Customer's on his way over right now, so we didn't get to take it out to the gig, but I think this would have done really well in a country band or like a rock band. That volume control is super responsive with these pickups. The tone control, it never really muddied up. It just always sounded really good with a lot of clarity. Just a totally different dynamic with this mahogany body, ebony fretboard, and these custom pickups. Jairo Sanchez did such a great job with these. They just sound totally unique. And like I say, I just told him, do whatever you want. Won't be going on reverb.com. Like I say, the customer's on his way over now to pick this thing up. So it's definitely not going on Reverb. But we do have a few guitars on there, and I will put our link in the description. Scrap wood here, too, that if there's any guys that like to carve, like, knickknacks, I'll just send it to you. That would be fun, too. Once again, we'll just touch on my very short but eventful career as an auto mechanic. I left woodworking for about 2 years, and I worked for a local auto shop, and it was an inspection station. So every year, car would have to come in and get inspected. So my job was to test drive all the cars and make sure what was broken or what wasn't. I'd figure out what was wrong with them. Stingray is to match the Arctic White for the General Motors. It's really cool with the black hardware, really awesome. I've certainly driven my fair share of Corvettes in my time, especially as an auto mechanic. A lot of fun, really cool to do the tribute guitar. So our email and our reverb.com will be in the description. And thanks for visiting Dave's World. The guitar's finished, but we have a request from the owner. What we're gonna do, because it's the Stingray, is we've been supplied with the Corvette Stingray emblem, and it's, you know, plastic, not terribly thick, but it does have like a double face tape. The problem is its actual like tail, I guess, whatever that is too long. So we're gonna have to cut that down and sort of shape it. Sand away at this little plastic Stingray. Now our Stingray is completely fixed. We got our logo on there. I think I have it pretty evenly spaced.